Got eagles calling as we're starting this next section of Beowulf. The peace of the North Woods. Minnesota North Woods, y'all. All right, Beowulf, stanzas 21 through whatever we get to. Beowulf spoke, the son of Ecgtheow. Do not grieve, wise warrior. It is better for each man that he avenge his friend than to mourn much for him. Each of us must accept the end of life here in this world. So we must work while we can to earn fame before death. For a warrior, it is best to live on in memory after life has departed. Arise, protector of the people. Let us quickly go to look for the tracks left by Grendel's kinswoman. I promise you this, she shall not find shelter, not in the earth's embrace, nor in the mountains' woods, nor the bottom of the sea. Go wherever she will. For today, keep patience during all your troubles, which is what I know to expect of you. Then up leapt the old ruler, giving thanks to God, the mighty Lord, for the words this man spoke. Then Hrothgar's horse was saddled and bridled, a steed with braided mane. The wise king went forth. Fully equipped with his war band, marching on foot. Shouldering their shields, the tracks of the enemy were clear to see along paths through the woods, going over the ground, heading straight toward the murky moor, where the mother of Grendel bore the lifeless corpse of the best of chieftains who ruled with Hrothgar over their homeland. The noble band of warriors picked their way over steep stone slopes, up a narrow path. It reminds me of the North Shore. I'm not exactly that far north of Minnesota right now, but imagine the scenery of traveling up to Tedagooch and along the rocky paths trying to find the mother of Grendel and Grendel himself. Up a narrow path, going one by one on the unknown way. By high headlands, home to many monsters, Hrothgar rode ahead with a few advisors from among his wise men to scout the area. When he abruptly encountered great mountain trees, leaning out over masses of old gray stone, a wood without joy, overhanging the water. Stirred up with blood. Then all the Danes suffered, their spirits in pain, as grief pierced the nobles, these friends of the Scyldings. For many a Thane felt comrade loss when they came upon the head of Akshare on the cliff by the mere. Brave warriors looked on waters roiling with blood, seething with gore. Time and again, the horn sounded, a song eager for battle, as the war band rested. I didn't bring my horn out here. That'd be nice if I did, but they would have used that to let the monsters or anybody else know that they were on the warpath and to watch out. They saw in the water a great swarming of serpents, strange sea beasts, roaming around the mere. And water monsters sprawled on the slopes of the cliffs, which often in mid-morning set out to hunt prey, bringing sorrow to many along the sail road. These dragons and beasts, they slid from the banks, bulging with bitter hate, when they heard the call of the war horn for battle. A Geatish warrior cut off the life, the wearing in waves, of one such monster with a bow-shot arrow, so that the strong shaft sank into its heart. Then was it slower in swimming through seas, as it was seized in the grip of death. That wondrous wave roamer was quickly grappled with ferocious force right there in those waters by spears tipped with cruel barbs for attacking boars, and dragged onto shore. There, men looked on that horrible strange beast. Then Beowulf put on his armor for battle, without fear for his life, his coat of mail with hard links forged by hand, broad and well-fashioned, was sufficiently strong to safeguard his life while searching the waters, so no battle clashing might injure his breast, nor furious foe grasp might rob, nor furious foe's grasp might rob him of life. And a gleaming helmet guarded his head, for whatever he met at the bottom of the mere, plunging in surging waters, wearing that treasure, with splendid bands encircled, as a smith in old times had fashioned weapons for war, adorned with wonders, the likeness of boars, so that no sword or battle blade might ever bite through to bring harm to that hero. Then to aid him in his time of need, Hrothgar's hall speaker did not lend the Geat the least powerful of weapons, a great hilted sword by the name of Hrunting, which was one of the foremost of ancient treasures, a blade of iron etched with adders entwined, made strong by battle blood. Never had it failed any man whose hands had wielded it in the heat of battle, daring to go forth on a venture fraught with terrors in the homeland of foes. Nor was it the first time the sword was called on to perform deeds of courage. It seemed that strong Unferth, the son of Ecglaf, did not bear in mind the taunts he had spoken before, drunken with wine, when he lent this great weapon to the better sword warrior. He would not himself dare to take a chance with his life under the war of the waves, doing deeds of bravery. Thus he lost lasting fame, his reputation for boldness. That was not so for Beowulf, as he armed himself with war gear for battle. Then Beowulf spoke, the son of Ecgtheow. Consider now, famous kinsman of Healfdene, wise prince, and gold-giving friend to the people, I am eager for this exploit that we two spoke of. If in relieving your need I should lose my life, I ask you ever after to assume the place of devoted father when I have departed. May you keep watch over my young warriors, my comrades in arms. If I in combat perish, if in combat I perish. Also, dear Hrothgar, send on to Hygelac the trove of treasures that you gave to me. Thus may the king of the Geats, the kin of Herethel, see in that gold when he stares on the treasures, that I met here a great munificent ruler, a giver of gold rings, and took joy while I could. And do let Unferth, that widely known warrior, have the ancient heirloom, the wave-patterned sword, with its sharp blade. Meanwhile, with Hrunting, I will seek glory, or death will sweep me away. After these words, the prince of the Weathergeats hastened away with courage, not waiting at all for any reply. Roiling waters enveloped the battle-brave man. Then some time passed before he might make out the bottom of the mere. At once, the one who was thirsting for war, who ruled over these waters 100 half years, 50 years, grim and blood-greedy, saw that a man sought from above this world of strange monsters. She stretched out to attack him, seizing the hero in horrible grasp. Yet she did not do harm to his sturdy body, for ringed mail surrounded him, so that she might not pierce through that protection between the locked rings with her loathsome talons. The sea-wolf wrestled this prince in ringed armor, bore him down to the bottom, to her own hall, potentially a cave or something that they hid in. So he could not, though his courage was strong, wield any weapons. There he was hard-pressed by strange beasts in the water. Many sea monsters tore at his mail shirt with their savage tusks, pursuing their prey. Then the hero discovered that he was inside some enemy hall, where he was not threatened by water at all. Nor might he be touched by sudden surgings of flood because of the hall roof. He saw light of a fire, a brilliant gleaming, brightly shining. I kind of want to pause to talk about a story I watched when I was younger, the city of Atlantis. Potentially this could be a cave or some sort of hiding, right? But it's interesting to think about what this ancient man potentially went through. But yeah, it makes you think, what kind of hall or cave or chasm was he in that protected him from drowning? We just jumped in this lake yesterday and I lasted about 30 seconds in the cold water. Now this story may not have happened during the winter time, but yeah, you're not going to last that long in there before you get hypothermia. The hero saw clearly the demon of the deep, the mighty Mere woman. He repaid her fierce attack with his battle blade, not holding back his stroke. So the ring-adorned sword sang out on her head, a war song greedy for blood. Then the Geat found that the battle flasher had lost power to bite, to slash away life, for the sword edge failed the prince in his need. Till now it prevailed in hand-to-hand fighting, shearing through the helmet and the mail of a fated man. This was the first time the great treasure had failed to live up to its fame. Then Hygellic's kinsman thought only one thought: not to give up his courage, be mindful of glory. The angry warrior threw down the patterned weapon, adorned with art where it lay on the ground, strong and steel-edged. Strong and steel-edged. He put trust in his strength, the might of his hand grip. Thus shall a man do when he seeks to gain long-lived glory. In furious combat, not caring for his life, not flinching from the feud, the prince of the war geats grasped hold of the shoulder of the mother of Grendel. And bulging with rage, fighting hard in the battle, he swung her around till she fell on the floor. Right away after that, she repaid his tactic and crushed him against her in brutal embrace. She wrestled to throw her spirit-weary foe, the strongest of warriors, till he slipped and fell down. She sat on her hall guest and drew out her dagger, broad and bright-edged, hoping to avenge her son, her only offspring. Across his shoulders lay the woven mail shirt, watching over his life, guarding against both knife point and blade. Then the son of Ecgtheow, stout hero of the Geats, would have journeyed to death under wide earth. Except that the battle shirt, the mail made for war, provided protection. And the holy God decreed which was the victor. For the wise Lord, the ruler of heaven, decided according to right. So the hero of the Geats easily got to his feet. What is the glory of warriors? Something I wanted to pause on in this section. What is the glory of a warrior? Is it in his might? It is in his victory. The glory of a warrior is in his victory, not in his defeat, though his defeats can lead to his greatest victory. The glory of a warrior is his God, and the victory his God gives. Young men, if you have to go to war in the future, trust in the Lord. Trust in the God who gives victory, and be brave. And your glory will be revealed by the Most High. Chapter 23, or stanza 23. Then he saw among war gear a victory-blessed sword, an old blade made by giants, with edges strong and sharp, the glory of warriors. That was the greatest of weapons. Just like David, he took Goliath's sword and cut off the giant's own head with that mighty sword. Apparently, so did the Norse. They took the swords of giants as well. The craftsmanship of a man is interesting, right? You've seen it in Lord of the Rings. Well, what does the craftsmanship of a giant, a fallen angel that's a half-breed look like? What can Satan create? What can God create? And obviously, what God creates is mightier than what Satan creates, because it overcomes it. It conquered. I don't see many giants nowadays. Wembanyama, right? You know me. I like the Timberwolves. We've played them twice, I'm pretty sure. The San Antonio Spurs and the Timberwolves. Woo! We're winning. Wembanyama is like, what, 7'4.5"? Dude, these giants were like 10 and 12 feet. Make Victor Wembanyama look like a point guard, bro. And the Norse, men like me, or my ancestors, men like you, conquered these things. That was the greatest of weapons, though its size was so large that no other man could bear it out to the play of battle. It was huge and heroic, the work of giants, the champion for the Danes in a dreadful fury, despairing of life, seized the hilt of the sword, swung its great blade angrily, and angrily struck so that it dug deep into the neck of the monster, breaking the bone rings, slicing all the way through her body doomed by fate. and she fell dead on the floor. The sword sweat blood, while the warrior rejoiced. If I just slayed a dragon, this would probably be my sound, right? I'm sitting down, but, you know. Man, Adrian Peterson, when he ran that dude over against Pittsburgh back when Brett Favre was playing, you can look it up on YouTube. When Brett Favre threw that pass to Adrian Peterson, right? Adrian Peterson ran the dude over, got more yards, and then was on the sideline. He just yells, right? This barbaric, manly, just like victory yell. That's what I feel like Beowulf would have sounded like. And, you know, I'm kind of sick right now, so my war roar is probably not the best as of right now, but it would have probably sounded something like that. Yeah! So, yeah. While the warrior rejoiced, the light was gleaming, glowing from within, as bright as the shining up high in the heavens, the candle of the sky. The hero searched the hall, the Thane of High Gaelic, raging and resolute, turned by the wall and heaved up the weapon high by the hilt. That sword was not useless to the battle-hardened warrior, and he wished right then to repay Grendel for the many attacks which he had delivered against the West Danes, far more often than one time only. When he slew in their sleep Hrothgar's champions, gorging on 15 of the folk of the Danes, as they lay in their beds, asleep and unwary, and bore away with him as many more men as gruesome spoils. So the grim champion repaid him for those horrors, as he saw Grendel lying, wearied by war, in his last place of rest, long without life, since his arm was ripped off in their clash at Heorot. The corpse burst open, when even after death it was struck by the sword. A vicious battle blow, and the hero cut off its head. The wise warriors with Hrothgar then saw, as they gazed out over the waters, that the tossing of the waves grew troubled. As blood stained the mere, gray-haired old men spoke to each other about the great champion, saying they had no hope for that hero's return, that he could come back triumphant in war, seeking their famous lord. For the group agreed that the wolf of the waters had put him to death. By mid-afternoon, no man had remained of the brave Scyldings. The gold-giving king had departed for home. The Geats sat still, sick in spirit, and stared at the mirror. They wished to see their warlord himself, but had given up hope. Then the blade of the mere sword, drenched in battle blood, began to dissolve into icicles of gore. A great wonder to tell. That the weapon was melting much like the ice when the Father loosens the bond of the frost, unfastens fetters on the waters, wielding power over seasons and times. That is the true ruler. So apparently the blade of the Mir sword melted like ice. It dissolved, almost like Aragorn's, when Aragorn and Frodo, right, in the movie that Peter Jackson made, when Frodo gets stabbed by the Mulligal blade, and Aragorn lifts it up and it just vanishes into dust. Well, imagine a blade melting before you into water and being gone. The prince of the Weathergeats took no more treasures away from that hall, though he saw many more, except for Grendel's head, along with the hilt of the much-adorned weapon. The hilt, just the hilt, not even the blade, apparently. Whose blade had melted, the wave-marked iron burning, for the blood was so hot from the poisonous demon who had died in that place. So it was the strike of the demon melted the blade. Then the one who survived the deadly struggle, the fall of his foes, swam up through the water, and waves tossing together throughout that expanse were entirely cleansed. And waves tossing together throughout that expanse were entirely cleansed when the alien creature took leave of his life days in this transitory world. The chief of the seamen then swam to the shore, a brave-hearted hero. He rejoiced in the booty. And this kind of booty, right? The treasure. Yeah. I'm sure if you have a wife, you can rejoice in her booty one day as well. He rejoiced in the booty. The mighty burden he brought from beneath the waters. The bold war band rushed toward him, all in a crowd, giving thanks to God and shouting with joy that they now could see their prince safe and sound. Then off of that hero, the helmet and mail shirt were quickly taken. The Mir grew calm. The water under clouds stained with slaughter blood. Then they went forth along the footpaths, joyful in mood, marching along dirt trails on the well-known way. Bold, noble warriors carried Grendel's head down from the headlands. A long, hard labor for each of the bearers. All high-spirited men. No fewer than 4 were needed to hold up the head of Grendel on the shaft of a spear, going to the gold hall, till presently they came, brave and battle bold, all 14 Geats going together as they marched to Hrothgar's great hall. The valiant chieftain strode among his men through the plain by the mead hall. The leader of these loyal thanes, renowned for his deeds, honored with fame as a battle-brave hero, went into the hall to salute King Hrothgar. King Hrothgar. The Geats bore Grendel's head by the hair out onto the floor where the Danes were drinking. A terror to those nobles, and Wealhtheow too, was that awesome spectacle we're all looking on. And that's where I'm going to stop for now, my friends. That's where I'm going to stop for now. Wonderful story, is it not? A wonderful story. I'm gonna give a tribal war cry. see if my voice is up for it now that I've read to you. Sakta fakta ud! Ja inte akta ud! Ja! Akta! Hum! And that's it, my friends. It's the sound of a warrior. And that's another good section of the story of Beowulf. I hope you have a blessed day. Stay warm. And be happy, man. I'm going to start heading back. Actually, you know what? I can keep this one going. Whoo-wee. What a beautiful day, though, huh? Check out my view from my perch. What a beautiful view. But yeah, woods, man. The woods is amazing up here. Even just going hiking right after fresh snowfall. Such a wonder, man. Such a wonder. Yeah, I'll probably end it here, huh? Beautiful, ain't it? God bless y'all. I'll give you the next one hopefully soon. I've got an idea about where I want to film it, so we're gonna have some fun. Enjoy. Thank you so much for your patronage, your subscriptions, and for listening to me share what I love sharing. Awesome story. So, see ya.